Okay, hello. So today's video is going to be on the quote in the Bible about that goes something like, or it means something like, those who know how to yield swords but keep them sheathed shall inherit the world. And what that means is that to those who have everything, more will be given. To those who have nothing, everything will be taken. Another way of saying that is the money always flows up. Always. And that's true. Oddly enough, it's odd. It's very odd. It's better to be a gardener in a war than a. Or I got that wrong. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And today, in this country, it's this day and age, it's very much so a garden. Or at least, it's the illusion is a garden, is what they're trying to convey. That doesn't mean that warriors aren't important. You have to be able to see past your feelings in order to gain insight. And without that ability, inevitably, you will always be controlled by that which you do not know. And you will not. Good luck finding a destiny of any sort. Of any sort. I've tried. I'm 22. I've had my fair share of ups and downs. It's so hard to talk to people because this is about the level of my socializing, because I don't talk to anyone and I just ponder. And whenever you're an observer, it's a very so coincidences are a real thing, right? Now, the definition of a coincidence is that it's random. Now, what happens if you get 10 coincidences that happen in the same situation? Well, is that still a coincidence, or does it become a pattern? Surely it becomes a pattern. And so then, with the pattern, what do you find within every pattern? There is always some kind of truth. And then through there, if you can have the insight and you can seek the truth, then you can look beyond the patterns of habit that you call your identity. And from there, you are free to let go and do anything. Like Buddhism, it's attachment is suffering. And you have to, if you don't want to suffer, accept that which is necessary to sustain meaning, and that's the way forward. I don't see any other better way. It's a life. Learning is better for the future than not learning. Most people don't realize that until it's too late. Or I shouldn't say most, but we all know people that didn't realize that until it's too late. Just look around. It's not too hard. Purpose is from an adventure, and the best adventure is the adventure of truth, because it's like the only adventure that's unpredictable, because we're all liars. And it's the adventure of truth leads you to the best possible outcome. Prove me wrong. Regardless of what happens, if you have the truth on your side, then your treasure is not stored on this earth. And there's nothing people can take from you. That's just. Tell me how else it could be. I haven't been able to find any other way. This is like, when you seek the truth, you start out stumbling, right? But it's weird once you really start the journey, because you stumbling uphill. That's all it is. The better you get at it, the more fun you can have. The reason why no one does it though is because the initial kickstart is how everyone stops, how the world stops anyone from trying. Your life, like as the quote goes, your life doesn't start. Your life doesn't start until fear ends. Life starts where fear ends. And so as long as you have fear inside of you, you will always be controlled by by your feelings. Because think about how much you just might feel because you felt fear, and all the feelings that would come after you felt that fear. Well, isn't that all just a reaction to fear itself? And without the fear, all those other emotions wouldn't exist, which would then completely, all your actions based on what you're feeling would also be different. And then who even knows what that is? The only way you can find that out is to seek the truth. How else could you? That would be a better way. I think it's very necessary to not become numb and to take on the highest amount of conflict that you can, the most amount of chaos possible, to give yourself, to raise the bar as high as you can, to give yourself the best chance of bringing forth the best in you. Because if you're not fighting, if you bring forth the worst in you, and you build it up the best you can, then the only way to conquer that is to bring forth the best in you. And that is having the faith that the best in you is aligned with the truth, and through the truth you can conquer the worst in you, no matter how great that mountain. And so then we only have so much bandwidth that we can process every day. And so if you fill that up with as many, maybe not conflicts, but as much to push against as possible, then that demands the absolute best of you. It requires, maybe not demands, it requires the absolute best of you. And what is better than that? What is? Being comfortable? Not pushing? It may be better in the moment, but you will always be just as dumb. And if the world's full of dumb people, do our children get to exist in an intelligent society or a dumb society? So what are you really choosing? It's just a little bit of insight. And I see it in very few people. It's sad. To be fair, I like insight too. A lot of things. We all have our things. But that's what I push against. And I know this because I push against it. And that's how I know it. I know my monster. I know my anger. I've entangled myself with it. And then I've gotten so much information from it that, the ropes that once bound me are the whip that I now use to expose the false Pharisees that claim that claim higher power for their own use. The only way to show an evil person how he's evil maybe not the only, but the way I've been familiar with is to mirror them and to do exactly that back to them. That way they can see that outside of themselves. And naturally, they'll accuse you of all those things. And then you have the opportunity to explain to them just the situation. Now, hopefully, it doesn't get that bad. You shouldn't have to be mirroring people. That's not so good. But if you're not trying to understand difficult things, then what is it exactly? What does your thought? What purpose does your thought serve? If it's not to be better, is it to be the same? To be worse? How is that such a confusing topic for so many people? And how does some... I mean, I can't say I don't understand because I do. Getting into it can be pretty heavy. Pretty damn heavy. And that's why the world needs strong men. Strong people. That's why I need to be stronger. That's why you need to be stronger. It's hard not to be helpless. I understand that. Isn't that what you asked for, though? Wouldn't that be the most exciting adventure? Doesn't everyone cheer for the underdog? Nothing is loved in this world as much as a man who bears his unhappiness with courage. And it's very true. You look at all the loved men and all the, maybe not loved would be the right word, but the cherished and remembered and respected and written down about and talked about, the men not forgotten. Yeah. It's hard to say. But that was about all. I'm trying to think of a question. A question... We could always end it with some kind of... Does it matter? Anyways, I guess this is it. I appreciate any feedback.